In the opening scene, we see mercenary Tyler, who is suffering from severe injuries, and a concussion causes him to fall over the bridge and into a river. Everyone believes he is dead, but the currents carry his body to the shore, where a young girl finds him and immediately calls for help. Tyler is taken to a hospital, where his mercenary partners, the siblings Nick and Yaz, take care of him. Tyler is deeply unconscious and almost mortally wounded, so Yaz thinks they should let him go, but Nick refuses to give up. For many weeks, nurses take care of Tyler's body until he finally wakes up. He may be alive but still not well, so now Tyler has to go through extensive physical training and therapy to help his body and health recover. Meanwhile in Georgia, gangster Zurab gets to know from his partner Aftandil that an additional 10 years in prison has been given to his brother David in Georgia. When Zurab contacts the governor, who was the one to sign the sentence, the governor explains that there is not much he can do because the Americans have a sizable presence. The governor then promises to send David to an American prison in response to Zurab's account of his lifetime obligation to save his brother from their violent father. Zurab reminds him that he was the one who put him in office, and he then brutally kills him. The governor's guards are all killed by Zurab's men. He then buries the governor's body in a hole they had already dug for him. We then see Tyler, Nick, and Yaz pick him up and take him to Austria, where they have prepared a hidden cabin in the woods for him, complete with his furnishings and his old dog. Now Tyler can retire peacefully. Before leaving, Nick gives him a box filled with priceless memories. After that, Tyler resumes his regular routine and enjoys watching television, going fishing, and doing some grocery shopping. He finally opens the box one evening and cries as he sees all the old letters and videos of his deceased child. Tyler's wife divorced him for abandoning him at the worst possible time since his child was on his deathbed, and Tyler volunteered to join the military before the child passed away. David, Zurab's brother, is currently watching a prison fight, but he is unable to enjoy it since he is worried about the extension of his prison term. He will remain in prison with his wife, Ketavan, and their children, Sandro and Nina, until they are all reunited. Ketavan is concerned about how the kids will grow up in such a harsh environment, but David insists that Sandro must experience hardship in order to become tough. Ketavan opposes it because she doesn't want her children to grow up to be criminals like his father. David then slaps Ketavan and says that he can raise the kids by himself and that he can throw her off whenever he wants. As David leaves, Ketavan starts crying, and Sandro wakes up to calm her down. Later, while Tyler is going back to his cabin, he sees a man named Alcott waiting for him. He knows a lot about this area and also about Tyler's identity and profession. Tyler tries to scare him by shooting the mug, but Alcott doesn't even blink and says that they both have bosses in common. Alcott has a new task for Tyler. It turns out that Ketavan is Mia's sister, who is Tyler's ex-wife, and that they need to free her and the children from jail. We then get to know that David and Zurab are members of the extremely dangerous gang known as Nagazi. The brothers are vicious because they grew up during the civil war in their native country. They developed their criminal skills as youths. They see the gang members as family, so they will stop at nothing to defend what they believe is theirs. Tyler accepts the mission right away and calls Yaz and Nick for their help. Then Tyler starts working out hard to get his body back in shape. He does this by using traditional exercise methods as well as moving rocks and using axes to chop wood. When Tyler is prepared, he and the siblings go to the prison in Georgia, where a guard they've paid off paves the right route with small markings on the walls and turns off all the cameras. The guard then tells Tyler that gate 207 is unlocked, and he turns out the lights, giving him 5 minutes to free the family. Nick and Yaz wait outside while Tyler enters. Tyler moves very silently, using a light to spot the tiny marks, and finds the family's cell, where Ketavan is waiting for him. She wakes the kids, and Sandro asks about his father, but Ketavan replies that he will join them later. As they leave, Nina accidentally drops her toy, which makes a noise. Tyler tries to destroy it by stepping on it, but it's too late. One of the prisoners wakes up, and when he sees the family leaving, he blows a whistle to signal the other prisoners who are devoted to David to break out into a riot. They then ran away and took the stairs. Tyler then breaks a door lock to gain access to an abandoned corridor. Unluckily, they go into a cell full of prisoners, and a fight breaks out between Tyler and the prisoners. Tyler then fights a few soldiers and shoots one of them to scare them. He then uses a tiny bomb to open the door, just in time before the prisoners try to attack. Despite the many prisoners still chasing them, the group continues to run. Tyler finds an underground passage and moves upwards towards a chute on the ceiling. He pushes the kids through it so they can get to Nick outside. As Tyler tries to push Ketavan, suddenly David shows up and attacks them. Ketavan immediately gets to the ground, but Tyler drags David into a furious fight in which he breaks his hand. Tyler stabs David to death and slices off his face with a hot object. Ketavan also beats the man with a shovel. At that point, many prisoners have reached the end of the passage, so Tyler instructs Nick to take the children while he searches for another exit. As Nick drives off with the children in vans, the police enter the common yard and engage in a bloody fight with the rioting prisoners. Ketavan and Tyler come out in the yard where all the prisoners are fighting, and they make the decision to battle their way out. Tyler initially succeeds in keeping people away with his rifle, but soon he runs out of ammunition and is forced to engage in hand-to-hand combat, which injures him. Ketavan tries to assist by scuffling with the shovel, but she eventually falls to the ground, and everyone reaches out to grab her. When it gets too much for Tyler, he rolls over her to protect her and throws a grenade. When Tyler stands up, a prisoner hits him in the head, and he goes unconscious, which allows prisoners to take Ketavan away. Luckily, Tyler recovers fast and chases them. He fights off some police officers and uses their shields to defend himself from the fire. Tyler kicks and punches a couple soldiers out of the way and kills the prisoner before he can take advantage of her. A back door then blows open, and Nick and her group take them out. Yaz warns them that they have been tracking Nagazi radio communications and that they are coming after them. Tyler tells the kids to put on bulletproof vests and hide under the back seats, and the group then speeds away in the bulletproof vans. They then come across the Nagazi soldiers, who start shooting at them. As a result of the ensuing chase, Nick and her men return fire and force several cars off the road, but Tyler continues through the forest. The Nagazi army is constantly chasing them, and riders on motorcycles also arrive to throw some bombs and get off Nick's men. Nagazi cars continue to chase them. Only Tyler's and Nick's vans survive a wild chase, and they get to drive over the bikers. However, shortly after, an explosion hits Tyler's vehicle, causing it to flip. While the family exits the car, Nick's team provides them with cover, but Nina's hand still gets injured. The party rushes through a nearby factory. They then board a train that will take them out of Georgia. More Nagazi soldiers arrive in helicopters as the train departs, so Tyler searches for the extra weaponry the train carries and launches a counterattack. He takes out one of the helicopters with a machine gun, causing it to crash into the snow, and then he climbs onto the train roof to begin firing at the second helicopter. Unfortunately, they return fire, forcing Tyler to hide. As a result, a few Nagazi men are able to board the train. Nick encounters 3 of these men and engages them in brutal hand-to-hand combat and a gunfight. She then kills them all and throws another over the train. She gets injured in the process. A second group of Nagazi men are pursuing the family, but Tyler confronts them and starts fighting with them as well. One of the soldiers almost pushes him off the train, but Tyler resists and pushes back to continue the fight. Sandra watches in horror as Tyler shoots each and every man one by one. After all, the Nagazis were defeated, and Tyler went to check on Nick, who was fortunately hurt but is still alive. The helicopter then starts shooting at them once more. When Tyler returns to the roof, Tyler then takes the machine gun from the dead opponent. He immediately shoots down the helicopter, causing it to crash into the snow and explode. Sadly, Nick learns that the enemy has damaged the brakes, so Tyler quickly returns to the family and warns them to hold on as the train goes off the track and crashes. In the meantime, Zurab and Aftandil get to know about David's death and its meaning, then describe what happened. Zurab immediately recognizes that the opposing gang was not involved in it. He then watches his brother's dead body. Zurab then vows to exact revenge and recalls everything they went through together and how they stood up for one another against their abusive father. Then we see the group, who somehow survived the collision. And as they go, Sandro keeps asking about his father. When he finds out that he is dead, he gets enraged at his mother and Tyler, and he thinks that she is responsible for his father's death. The group then flees on a boat and boards a plane. Yaz calls on some individuals to create fresh documents for them. Sandro then takes Yaz's phone. After that, he takes it to the washroom, where he calls Zurab and asks about his father. Zurab tells him that his father is dead and that Tyler killed him. Zurab then tricks him into believing Ketavan is the bad guy, and Sandro is then forced to tell him where they are going. When the group arrives in Austria, they take refuge in a hotel. Sandro approaches Tyler while the women take care of Nina and set out their next escape route. When Tyler points out that David genuinely wanted to kill Ketavan, Sandro insults him by pointing out that Tyler was never there for his own son and claims that David had put them in prison to protect them from other gangs. In the meantime, Zurab collects a group of Nagazi troops and stresses the need to protect the family, motivating the men to promise vengeance on their lives. Aftandil is unhappy about this and complains that Zurab is risking valuable family lives on pointless revenge, but Zurab ignores him. Back to Tyler, he finds Sandro on the balcony and admits that he had been a horrible father. However, he points out that Ketavan has been fighting valiantly for her children, and Sandro should respect her strength rather than letting David's falsehoods consume him. Sandro, who feels bad after hearing this, tells him that the Nagazi are approaching. Suddenly, a helicopter appears in the sky, and other Nagazi soldiers come in cars. Sandro texts Zurab to meet him later. Sandro claims that the Nagazi are his family. The helicopter then starts firing on the room. Tyler pushes the family aside, who then wait for the helicopter to leave before leading them to the lift. Several police cars arrive as the helicopter drops Nagazi soldiers on the roof, but the soldiers on the streets open fire and kill the officers to prevent them from interfering in the matter. Tyler's team reaches the parking lot and enters a car, but Sandro runs for Zurab. While others go in the car, Yaz goes after Sandro. However, when they reach the Nagazi, who have blocked their path and are firing upon them, they are forced to retreat. When Sandro gets to the street, Zurab appears in front of him and fires at Yaz, who immediately runs behind a car. Zurab then successfully convinces Sandro to come to him, but Nick then pulls up in another car, and the Nagazis blow it out with a rocket launcher. Zurab takes advantage, grabs Sandro, and takes him into his car. Yaz takes Nick out of the car, and the Nagazi begins shooting at them. After exchanging a few bullets, they detonate a grenade and retreat back inside the building. Tyler fights against the troops in the garage as Ketavan and Nina remain concealed in the vehicle. A number of them are shot, and the final one is engaged in hand-to-hand combat before being killed with a grenade. Tyler is only able to drive a short distance before the Nagazis overtake him as he drives Ketavan and Nina away in a vehicle. Nick and Yaz then shoot a few troops outside before taking the lift to the roof. He has no choice but to stop the vehicle and join the fight, shooting as many soldiers as possible. When a police helicopter shows up there, the Nagazi use a rocket launcher and explode it. Tyler kills a few more soldiers and then takes the family out on foot. Tyler is able to return to the hotel and board the lift just before Zurab attacks them. While in the car, Sandro is concerned about his mother, and Aftandil advises him not to have called if he wanted her to survive. When Nick and Yaz try to access the helicopter that their people have sent from the hotel's top, they find that Nagazi soldiers have surrounded it. Nick instructs Yaz to go help Tyler while she provides cover in this new shootout. Yaz descends to a lower floor where Tyler is fighting off more soldiers, but he encounters more Nagazi men. He somehow manages to kill them but gets severely injured. Nick suffers a wound on the roof as well, falling unconscious along with a soldier onto the lower glass roof. Nick is about to lose her balance. After shooting the last soldier, Tyler sees this and dives through the window to grab Nick just in time, but they are now both dangling over the side. Zurab appears at that precise moment and shoots Tyler's hand, but Tyler is strong and maintains his grip. Nick abruptly stirs and shoots to shatter the glass, leaving Zurab and himself perched on the edge. Tyler quickly throws Nick through the window into a room, allowing her to locate the family and eliminate the last troops before they could cause any harm to them. They meet Yaz again and start moving towards the roof while Tyler and Zurab climb up, engaging in hand-to-hand combat. But as Zurab uses his knife to put an end to the fight, the glass cracks and Zurab tumbles into the chamber below. Without wasting any time, Tyler joins the group on the roof as they board the helicopter. Suddenly, Zurab shows up and shoots Yaz, but he hides as Tyler tries to shoot back. As everyone boards and the chopper takes off, Tyler tries to tend to Yaz's wounds, but sadly, he dies. Later, Tyler hides in his cabin with the others, while Nick grieves over him. Someone unexpectedly shows up. It's Mia, Tyler's ex-wife. The sisters reunite, and Mia then approaches Tyler for a conversation. Tyler apologizes for leaving her when his son was ill and explains that he couldn't repair it and couldn't bear to see him suffer. In the meantime, Aftandil tries to speak with Zurab, bringing up the number of soldiers they are losing as a result of a woman. They should strive to continue their journey now that Sandro is among them. Zurab betrays him and kills Aftandil by shooting him. Sandro is in disbelief, as the Nagazi were supposed to be a family. A few hours later, Zurab calls Tyler and asks him to meet him at the airstrip near St. George's Church to talk. Tyler agrees, but he plans to fight. He then takes his weapons. Tyler ignores Nick's objections and heads to the airport. There, he sneaks past security to shoot a few guards before blowing up Zurab's plane. While Zurab and Sandro run, Tyler advances, blowing up every car in his path. He then engages in combat with a few soldiers in his way. Despite suffering a major stomach wound, Tyler goes to the church, where Zurab is hiding with the child. However, this is a trap since Zurab has tied a number of bombs to Sandro and is holding the remote, preventing Tyler from firing. To avenge his father, Zurab asks Sandro to shoot Tyler using Tyler's gun, but Sandro freezes out of guilt and fear. But just as Zurab is about to kill Tyler, Nick shows up from the back door to assist Tyler. Zurab uses Sandro as a shield, forcing Nick to lay down her weapon. At that moment, Tyler signals Sandro, who swiftly grabs the controller, and Nick shoots Zurab and gets severely injured in a shootout. Tyler then tackles him and knocks him to the ground, and the two engage in a vicious fight using anything they can find lying around the chapel as weapons. Sandro removes the bombs from him and hands control to Nick while apologizing. Nick then deactivates the bomb. Tyler and Zurab keep fighting mercilessly, dealing out hurtful blows and wrecking their surroundings in the process. Tyler finally gets to snag a large nail after taking a lot of punches, and then repeatedly stabs Zurab. When Zurab still won't stop talking about getting revenge, Tyler finally shoots Zurab in the head. As Tyler goes to check on Nick, the Austrian police show up and take them all into custody. Days later, Nick and Tyler are both in jail. Mia sees Tyler one afternoon and reveals that Ketavan and her kids were placed under witness protection. Additionally, Mia reveals to Tyler that their son's final memory of him was not of Tyler leaving but rather of his father fighting to rescue the world, indicating that the boy wanted to be just as heroic as his father. Later, Tyler is taken into a car, but it turns out that this is not a transfer. Tyler goes and sees that it's Alcott who is waiting for him. He then offers another job in exchange for getting him out of jail. Tyler is hesitant to accept and says that he won't do this mission without his team. But to Tyler's surprise, Nick is also ready to go. And the movie ends. For more movie recaps like this, subscribe and turn the notifications on. Thanks for watching. Till then, watch how this man goes back in time to stop World War III. See you there. Goodbye.